In today's video, I'm going to take all the confirmed information we have about PlayStation 5 Pro from the presentation that took place on September 9th and add all the information that was unveiled later, such as new images, new games compatible with PlayStation 5 Pro in Asset Edition, and some more data from leaks, impossible presentation, state of play, and other things that are being discussed. That is, in today's video, you will see a very synthesized summary of everything that is being said and known about PlayStation 5 Pro. If you are interested in this console, if you like PlayStation, if you like video games, you will probably like this channel a lot, because here we dedicate ourselves to that 24/7. I invite you to subscribe and join Big Data News. The subscribe button is down below. You can subscribe. Let's start with a review of what was presented yesterday, and let's start talking about the most important thing, which is date and price. The PlayStation 5 Pro console will finally hit the market on November 7th, officially in the United States, Japan, the European Union, and the United Kingdom. And this official launch date will be met in these regions, and in the rest of the regions we will see over time. You know how it is with Latin America. Sometimes things arrive on day one, sometimes they arrive the following week, then the following month, or they don't arrive directly at all. On the 26th of September of this month, reservations for this console will begin, and these reservations are made through Amazon or video game stores like Game, Liverpool, Media Markt, El Corte Inglés, Best Buy, Walmart, or the PlayStation Store itself. That is the usual stores. It will be up to you in your region to find out where they do pre-sales and where they don't. Because you know that this distribution thing, especially for Latin America, is quite complicated. The official prices of the PlayStation 5 Pro are $700 in the United States, £700 in the United Kingdom, 800 euros in Europe. Prices and dates will be met in the US, Europe, UK, and Japan. I don't know the prices in yen in Japan or where they are from in Latin America. The vast majority of you, it's a lottery. PlayStation 5 comes out at $500 on its launch day. And in the United States, it was $500. In Mexico, it cost $700 at the exchange rate from pesos to dollars. In South America, it reached $1,000 to $1,300. And there were even countries in South America where the PlayStation 5 arrived 1 or 2 months later. It's true that the market right now is full of PlayStation 5. Many people already have the console and won't be upgrading, so we expect a smoother distribution compared to the PlayStation 5 launch. However, well, we don't know when and how it will reach the vast majority of Latin American countries. Possibly on September 26th. When the pre-sale begins, we will have a little more information. We will know confirmed stores, delivery dates and times, and other things. What improvements does the PlayStation 5 Pro propose over the PlayStation 5 to be costing what it costs? Well, we have a problem. And that is the information that Sony officially shared on PlayStation is based on percentages of improvement and not on precise technical data, which prevents us from analyzing in depth how much the PlayStation 5 Pro improves over the PlayStation 5. So we are going to, in quotes, analyze this based on the data given to us by the architect of PlayStation 5, Mark Cerny. This guy said that the improvements of the PlayStation 5 Pro are based on 3 main aspects. First, we have processing capacity. The PlayStation 5 Pro has 67% more computing units than PlayStation 5, 28% more random access memory speed, and a larger graphics processing unit. This would mean, very briefly, according to Mark Cerny, that PlayStation 5 Pro is 45% faster than PlayStation 5. This speed refers to the rendering speed of video games, that is 45% more speed in generating the animations of the 3D models of the games that are run. This should translate directly into more frames per second and greater stability of these frames. Secondly, we have better ray tracing. And here they were not too clear either, because they said that what we are going to have is between 2 and 3 times more processing speed of and ray tracing, which is like, I don't know, like asking your mother how much salt you put in the pasta water and she tells you, put more salt. How much more? No, more. How much? You imagine it and that's it. You believe Mark Cerny. Regarding whether or not it's worth it, PlayStation 5 Pro. Anticipating some of your questions in the chat. The answer is, let's see how the console is when it's out. because all the data they are releasing based on improvement percentages, actually they don't make it very clear what they are putting inside the console, unlike the PlayStation 5. If at this point you don't know what ray tracing is, don't worry, I'll explain it very briefly. Ray tracing is a lighting technique in which light rays are simulated to have more realistic reflections and shadows. Often in video games we have ray tracing in reflections in puddles on the floor and those things, or ray tracing in the shadows. Many times developers choose to ray tracing of reflections, or ray tracing of shadows, or ray tracing of lights on the character or on a model. And they stick with some of these implementations of ray tracing, and not all at the same time. Why? Due to lack of resources in the console, in the system, or wherever, well, supposedly the PS5 Pro is going to have a lot more resources, so that developers can put ray tracing even in the coffee. And lastly and thirdly, we have an improvement of PSSR and image scaling technology, which would be like NVIDIA deep learning super sampling. That is a technology that internally generates the game images, rendering them at low resolution. Let's say, for example, 1080. And once the images are rendered at 1080 at a high frame rate, this system, whether it's called PSSR or NVIDIA ADLCS or whatever you want, rescales the images to a higher resolution, so you can see at that same high frame rate, but instead of 1080 to 4000 or to large resolutions. This technology is used to increase the detail and definition and resolution of the images, obtaining high graphic quality at high frames per second. Here we have two things to comment. The first is that they are going to implement this system called PSSR through an internal artificial intelligence module in PlayStation. That is, supposedly within the hardware, there will be a part dedicated to running an artificial intelligence that rescales the images. So we are going to have some change in the base card of the PlayStation because we have more central processing unit. We have more calculation units, we have this artificial intelligence processing unit, we have expanded storage. Surely we have a different base card, we will see it later. Secondly, we have that this PSSR technology is like the NVIDIA downloadable content. It is necessary for developers to start working with this technology and develop their games thinking about the PSSR and its implementation. Because the PSSR, we are going to have to find a more summarized way to mention it. It is a technology that requires developers to commit to using it. If not, it makes no sense. It's like the immersive audio and haptic vibration of PlayStation 5 are features that matter little if developers don't consider them from the start. They are tools Sony provides to developers. And while I'm not saying they'll matter little, they need to be utilized to make an impact. More than us, we're not going to see benefits, but developers have to exploit this feature. According to what Mark Cerny, designer of this PlayStation 5 Pro console, using the PSSR, it will double the power of the standard PlayStation 5, and there will be PlayStation titles that will come with a label that will put PS5 in ACID edition, in ASED edition. These will be games that will have compatibility with PSSR and several of the powerful features of the PlayStation 5 Pro. The games we have confirmed so far are Alan Wake 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Gran Turismo 7 Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, The Clue Motorfest, The First Descendant, The Last of Us Part 1, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, obviously, and Until Dawn Remake. These titles are going to bring from the get-go improvements for PlayStation 5 Pro to take advantage of all the features of this console. And in an interview after yesterday's presentation, Mark Cerny confirmed that for the launch of PlayStation 5 Pro, there will be between 40 and 50 more titles with improvements for PlayStation 5 Pro. That is, the developers or the main studios in the world have already been working with PlayStation 5 Pro to make these update patches for already released games that are going to be free patches to improve the experience in this thing. Well, in addition to all this that I tell you, there are some extra improvements worth mentioning regarding the experience on PS5 Pro. We have the PS5 Pro Game Boost, a technology capable of improving and stabilizing the performance of up to 8,500 PS4 games backwards compatible with PS5. That is a performance improvement of frames per second of stability for PS4 games running on PS5 Pro. Then we have the enhanced image quality, which is exactly the same, but in this case a resolution improvement for Play 4 games running on PlayStation 5 Pro. Basically, they are telling us that the resources of PlayStation 5 Pro are also dedicated to trying to run Play 4 games in the best way possible. We have confirmed 2 TB storage and we have Wi-Fi 7 connection. What about the dimensions of the Play 5 Pro? Well, it turns out that the console is larger than the PlayStation 5 Slim. Or wrongly called Slim, which is not actually called Slim, we call it Slim. As I previewed this week over the past weekend, closed-door tests of PlayStation 5 Pro were carried out. And there are those who have been able to access this console in advance to test it. These images that we are seeing right now are from the media outlet Computer Network A media outlet that was able to access the Play 5 Pro in advance to test it. And they left us with some impressions of what the size of the Play 5 Pro is. And everything seems to point to the fact that the cases of the current Play 5, incorrectly called Play 5 Slim, are compatible with those of the Play 5 Pro. The Play 5 Pro is taller, and it's taller because it has some stripes in the middle, blacker, wider than the current stripes of the Play 5. That makes the 2 cases more separated. But apparently they are the same 2 cases that we had until now. Not the ones from FAT, where's my PlayStation? Well, I left it in the living room. Not the FAT ones, those are all a single case. But the ones from Slim would be compatible with the PlayStation 5 Pro. The external disc reader is also compatible with PlayStation 5 Pro. In fact, you must buy it to read discs. The PlayStation 5 Pro lacks a disc reader and requires a separate metal base for vertical placement. However, it is compatible with all PlayStation 5 accessories, including the DualSense controller, PlayStation 5, Auris, and VR2. Just like what happened with the 4 and the 4 Pro. And now we enter rumor territory, because it is said that there will be a PlayStation 5 Pro edition that comes with a reader and some other game. It's going to be called PlayStation 5 Pro Deluxe or something like that. And it's going to be released at some point in December. For now, it's just a rumor about something happening this year. It's obviously going to be much more expensive than the Play 5 Pro that was just announced, because it comes with the reader, supposedly with some other game, and with the base. The Play 5 Pro that was just announced, the one we were just looking at, comes without the metal base, comes with a joystick and no games. The only thing it has installed is the technical demo of Astro's Playroom. The rumors also say that next week we are going to have a State of Play, a Sony PlayStation event focused solely on third-party video games. That is, from studios external to PlayStation that have developed improvements for their video games with this PlayStation 5 Pro in Acer Edition. And that we are going to find out next week about several video games that are going to be improved for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Regarding the ports to the connection that the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to bring. The only thing we know is that it has 2 USB-C ports in the front and nothing else. We didn't see the back, at least not in detail at the time of making this video. And we don't know if there is any novelty or something we are not finding out inside the console. If it still comes or does not continue to come, the possibility of expanding the internal storage through solid-state drives. And there is a lot of information that we lack because this has just been shown. For now, what I told you is what we know, what we have confirmed. And finally, what is, well, commented by Faith. I am sure that in the next 10-15 days, we are going to have a lot more information about PlayStation 5 Pro. Because there is probably a State of Play. And if there isn't, we have the presentation of the Tokyo Game Show from PlayStation that they already confirmed. There are rumors that the PlayStation 5 Pro will likely be unveiled at the Tokyo Game Show on September 26th. We will have much more information. I will not be at the Tokyo Game Show because my budget doesn't allow me to go. I'm not going to Gamescom, especially after what happened there. But some of my friends from an independent outlet in Argentina are attending. It's called New Game Plus. By the way, I recommend them because they do an excellent job. They are going, and we will have them as informants through their channels. And also from this channel where I will be uploading the videos they will be making and so on. It would be nice if we support them, because I believe there are no Latin American media at the Tokyo Game Show. Anyway, I'm going to steal material just the same. Sony PlayStation is going all out at the Tokyo Game Show many years after not presenting It appears to be a major comeback with a substantial presence, featuring novelties, news, and the celebration of PlayStation's 30th anniversary. So with that, I mean to say, subscribe if you are interested in the topic, because we are going to follow it very closely. From now until the moment of its launch. And obviously I'm going to buy the console and bring it to this channel. This was an information video, not an opinion one. That's why I didn't talk about what I think of the price and all that. Maybe I'll leave it for another video, but I ask you guys, who surely have already been writing in the comments, what do you think of the price? What do you think of, I don't know, console plus disc reader plus little metal base, what? 900? $850? In Europe, almost €1,000. Well, I'll read them in the comments. Bye.